Shrimad Bhagavatam 7.1.32 Katamopi na venah syat panchanam purusham prati tasmat kenapyupayena mana krishne niveshayet. Somehow or the other, we must consider the form of Krishna very seriously. Then, by one of the five different processes of mukti, as mentioned before, we saw in the previous 31st verse of the first chapter of the seventh canto. So, somehow or other, one must consider the form of Krishna very seriously, and by one of the five processes mentioned, one can return back to Godhead. Atheists like King Vena, however, being unable to think of Krishna's form in any of the five ways, they could not attain salvation. Therefore, one must somehow or other think of Krishna whether in a friendly way or inimically. Now we will see the purport written by Srila Prabhupada. Impersonalists and atheists always try to circumvent the form of Krishna. Impersonalists and atheists, they always try to cover, they try to circumvent the form of Krishna because they are always scared. They want to show something or the other in place of Krishna. They do not want to accept the form of Krishna. Who are these people? Atheists and impersonalists. Now, great politicians and philosophers of modern age even try to banish Krishna from Bhagavad Gita. Consequently, for them there is no salvation. But Krishna's enemies think, here is Krishna, my enemy, I have to kill him. Krishna's enemy think, there is Krishna, my enemy, they say, I have to kill him. Now, this is for the Krishna's enemy. It is said about Krishna's enemy. Who is Krishna's enemy? Krishna has no enemies. But Krishna is an enemy of someone. Here it looks like. So, Krishna has no enemies at all. He is a friend to all the souls in the world. Then, whoever considers himself his enemy, they want to kill him. They think of Krishna in his actual form and they attain salvation. So they think of Krishna as their enemy, and because of that, they receive the fortune. They receive this, they get salvation. It's not fortune actually. The word is not fortune, but they think of him as having a form, actual form, and then they want to kill. Though they want to kill, they attain salvation. Why? Because the Lord's form is like that. Whoever comes to him with whatever intentions, friendly or inimical, they attain some or the other thing. So the inimical way of thinking gives the salvation. The friendly behavior, the friendly thinking gives bhakti, like Arjun. Devotees, therefore, who constantly think of Krishna's form are certainly liberated. Those who think of Krishna's form constantly, they are surely liberated. The only business of the Mayavadi atheists is to make Krishna formless and consequently, because of this severe offense, at the lotus feet of Krishna, they cannot expect salvation. The Mayavadi sect, the Mayavadi atheists, their job is to make Krishna formless. Now, formless means not having a fixed form. Mind you, the formless does not mean in the normal sense what is formless. The formless means not having a fixed form. So, Mayavadis and the atheists, Mayavadi atheists. So, they want to, because of this is an offense, because of the severe offense at the lotus feet of the Lord, they cannot expect salvation. As against the inimical thinking, Mayavadi atheists, they suffer. They do not get salvation. The inimical thinking, the demons, those who thought inimically about the Lord, they attain salvation. So, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he says in here in this connection that Tena Shishupaladi Bhinna Pratikula Bhavam Didishur Yena Eva Narakam Yatiti Bhava. Except for the demon Shishupal, those who go against the regulative principles cannot attain salvation and are surely destined for hellish life. The regulative principle is that one must always think of Krishna, whether as a friend or enemy. So, here there's a difference that is being brought about around between the Mayavadi atheists and the demon like Ashurshapal who was inimical to the Lord. He was always blaspheming the Lord. So he attained salvation because he at least thought of the Lord in one way. But the Mayavadi atheists, they want to kill the Lord. They do not. They think of Krishna um, as formless, and thus they commit a lot of offenses and do not get salvation, and they suffer a lot of hellish life. So, the regulative principle is that one must always think of Krishna, whether as a friend or enemy. The regulative principle is that one must always think of Krishna, whether or as a friend or enemy. This is what Prabhupada says here in 7.1.32. Hare Krishna.